Here we go. Welcome back to the big board. Had about a week, roughly a week off. We took off Wednesday night last week. I forget the date, but it's now Sunday afternoon, and I came home to a whole bunch of packages, which is really cool. I have 3 packages came in the mail. One from GMT, and you can see the shadow of the box down below. Or on top, I should say, and then 2 trades that I made with a buddy. Actually, 1 trade that I made with a guy, and then a purchase of a game in an auction. So what I wanted to do real quickly, because I know that Joel Topman is going to do Panzer GMT Rink Shrip. And it's in the afternoon, and I haven't had a drink yet, and we're going to do a rink shrip. He's going to do a rink shrip. So my shrink rip will be brief and succinct, and so I'll try and cover off on these 3 games if I can in one video, and we'll take care of things from that perspective. I was, and just real quickly, I was out at Gettysburg picking up my son, and we went and spent 2 days on, or 1.5 days on the battlefield out there, and had a really excellent time. Had a guide by the name of Bruce Rice, who did a really good job of keeping me interested and my son and his 13-year-old buddy interested. So they're both 12 or 13 years old, and really had the right level of detail. And fortunately, the boys had just finished a year of studying the Civil War in school, and had seen all sorts of videos and drone flyovers of the battlefield and the whole shooting match. So they knew quite a bit about the battle and about some of the specific areas. In fact, a lot more than I did. I knew some of the names of bits and pieces, but we learned quite a few interesting tidbits from the... I'm just expecting someone to come walking in any second here. Some new information on the battle, more detail on losses and how things happened and how the whole battle evolved over the 3 days. And if you've been following the blog at all at the big board, you'll know that I got out the last chance for victory at least once, and was interested in playing, but didn't have a catalyst or a reason to really want to play. And I think I now have that, now that I have kind of a bird's eye view of the battle, how things evolved over the 3 days, the forces that were involved, the strategic importance of the battle. So it was all very, very engaging for me. So I wanted to share that with you. That's what we did, and we went off and did some other things, some social things, and had a lot of crazy fun stuff that was very northeastern or southern, I guess. Southern Maryland, whatever that is. So, and we'll talk about that some other time. So let's talk about these games real quickly, and I'll do GMT first. Maybe I should do that last and make it separate in case it goes too long. So let's do these other 2 guys first. So I picked up Carthage. And I'm just going to pause the video and we'll restart. Okay, so let's talk about Carthage real quickly. I owned this game 2 or 3 years ago. I took a look at the rules and took a look at the rules for Rise of the Roman Republic and realized I was probably never going to play the game. And then, of course, those buggers in the Minnesota First Wargamers group, when I had to go off and write a 10-part after-action report, and made me feel like I could potentially play this. Well, I've repurchased it. It took me a long time to find a game, a trade or a price that I was prepared to pay. And so I thought we might just do a quick look inside the box. And now I've read the rules, the system rules, or the series rules, and I've read this particular module's rules, and I'm quite interested in the game, but I do believe it's going to be fairly challenging. So I found myself a local guy in Austin who's played a couple of times, and we're going to play together. We'll wait and see how that all transpires before we talk much more about it, but it's all pretty cool. I'm excited to see that. He's a retired lawyer, so we'll get together and play the game. I thought this was a punched game, but look, these are the only counters that are out of the box, out of the sprues. There's maybe 20 counters. That's really awesome. It came with 2 scenario books, which is handy because now I can mark up one with all the errata. There's a fairly extensive errata for this game. This game comes with a lot of charts. It's very Richard Bergian, right? So we've got the Carthage player aid, all their pre-combat resolution charts and the different command efficiencies and combat ratios, how that affects DRMs, little cheat sheets here and there, what happens afterwards, and then the big percentage loss table here on the back, in the middle. Cav superiority, ambassadors, guile points that you use, a fair amount of politics and drawing of leaders, you know, councils and pro-councils and things like that in this game, so to kind of reflect the complexities of the Roman times. Carthaginians a little bit simpler with just 2 families to be dealt with. Naval system, the advanced naval system, I'm not sure if we're going to use that in our game. We're going to play a small scenario to start with. Manpower tables allows you to work out what you get in various periods of time. And political charts. Another player aid for the Carthaginians. Maybe that. Oh no, different chart. So this is attrition results. Devastation. If you want to devastate a province, you can. Straight crossings. Movement is and naval movement can be very dangerous in this game. Movement, you'll lose forces via attrition depending on how far you move every time. Magistrate's quick reference chart. This helps you understand what the different officers are for the various leaders and leader types, and the political charts and tables that we'll have to deal with. Legion requests of the Senate. And then the auguries, which is just basically a random table, random events table. You've probably all seen the game and the photographs from, actually, you know, Callendale did a video series on this as well, and I have not listened to his conclusions on the game because I didn't want to be colored by his viewpoints. I know he was a little dissatisfied with the rise of the Roman Republic, and I don't want to hear what he has to say about this just yet. So 3, 4 counter sheets, I think, maybe 5, no 4. Lots of good stuff in here. There's a political track, and then the maps. You know, they're the classic GMT style. They're pretty well done, very attractive looking. You've got lots of charts or displays to keep track of various elements in the game. The Romans, Carthaginians, Roman cities, all that sort of good stuff. Occupation displays. You've got all the cities here, and you flip little counters to tell who owns what. That's the second map. There's the second scenario book, and there's the rules. So, all in all, a good deal. I forget what I traded for it now, but I felt like I got the better end of that deal. What did I trade? Can't remember. It was only a week ago, and I can't remember. Is that the first scary sign of dementia? Could be. Well, so that's Carnage. So pardon me. So I'm kind of excited about that. In fact, there are 4 games in the house, but we'll look at this next. Actually, let's look at this other one. I took some pictures and posted these the other day. I picked up the Imperium Romanum 2 West End title. I'm becoming more and more drawn to West End games, even though I've hardly played any. This is all punched and organized and squared away. I've read most of the rules or skimmed them for this. It has quite a colourful map as well, and I am noticing a few similarities between the 2 systems just in terms of how certain things are handled. Not that that's a knock on anyone. Obviously, this was made long before and covers a different time period than Carthage does. But anyway, I think this is made in the 80s. 85, I think, is the second printing. So we've got those 2 games to experience. I'm playing Carthage with somebody, and then this will probably goof around with a little bit by myself. Now, I picked up Firepower for a ridiculous, I think, $5 or $7. Okay, now why am I buying Firepower when I own Patrol and Raid and Sniper and I don't know, some other stuff, right? I don't need this game. Well, I'm interested in this game because it looks cool. Is that a good reason? Probably not a good reason. But that's one of the reasons, because I'm really excited about the maps. I'm excited about the maps. They're big, hardbound Avalon Hill maps, and you know, this is a you know, if this game's got potential to be good. It's, you know, designed by Craig Taylor. You know, Jim Day was involved in it, and George Petronas and Bob McNamara. So a bunch of cool guys who know their stuff. I really love these maps. Aren't they cool? And this is $5. It's got a split on the corner here, but check this bad boy out. Unpunched. So I'm very excited about that, and I guess it doesn't really matter if it's punched or unpunched, but it's always nice to have a fresh game. Big honkin' rule book. It's got some solitaire rules for it as well. You know, the basic game is just, you know, 3 or 4 pages of rules, and it'll probably play like Patrol does from that perspective. It's got a nice long section on, where is it? All the different forces by country. It's set in the modern era, and I just think this will be an interesting little exercise in man-on-man combat. You know, see how this all works together. Lots of nifty little rules in here. We'll see how far we get into it. We might look. There's even tree climbing. How about that? Because you never know when you're going to need to climb a tree. Mines and vehicles and all sorts of grooviness, and I am looking for titles like this to aid my writing, and I think this will be one of those titles that might generate some fun and some interest. Although that is a honkin' big, 48 pages in this guy, but if we take out all the you know, the OOBs in here, that's probably 10, 20, yeah, that's probably 20 pages of rules there, plus the basic game. 4 lovely maps, some horrendously colored charts for equipment, pistols, submachine guns, and defensive weapons, and on the back side, vehicle weapons, and then this has just got a whole bunch of things, movement, blast radii, sighting charts, and things like that. I'm sure we'll work all that out. You've got to build your little character rosters as well, and all sorts of things that you can cut out to make your little off-board turn record chart. That's so cute. That's so 80s. Anyway, that's that. I thought you guys might like to see that. And they're the 3 titles that I've brought in, and I'll show you the 4th in a separate video. So we'll talk to you guys in just a moment.